We got Benelli Speedrun Part 2 with a twist and a special guest. That's right, we got a special guest, and so while he's on his way up here, let's talk about what I've done thus far. So I mentioned it briefly in the ending of the Top Speed Run video, which was that the gearing on this I feel like is the Benelli's downfall. It just takes forever to get up there, and then the way it's currently geared with that 5th gear, it's just kind of a stabilizer gear, and you're not getting the acceleration that you want. So I wanted to play around with some of the sprocketry, the front sprockets. So this is the 15 that I was running originally, and I have a bunch of them here. I actually have a 16 and I have a 17, just because maybe, but I went with a 14, one down. And I know that sounds kind of counterintuitive with the fact that this is a top speed run and then I'm lowering the gear in the front, and that would effectively trade off that top speed and replace it with some acceleration off the line. But I think that's ultimately what I want to go for to allow for this to rev up and kind of get me higher into the rev range faster. And so I want to see, now that I put a 14 tooth on there, I've ridden around a little bit, but I haven't yet to do a kind of top speed run with it. And so I think it would be kind of interesting to see now how it performs with one less tooth in the front. So it should shave off a little bit, but I'm curious to see how much. However, this time it's going to be a little bit different in that we're not going to be putting it up against this Grom, because as you could probably see, it's in a little bit of disrepair right in the middle of a project, and so it's not rideable at this time. But that's okay, because our guest is coming with a Grom himself, and probably the Grom, if anything, to put this up against a killer Grom, one might say, against this Grom killer. So more like killer monkey, not a killer Grom. I think I'm out of my element with this one. Benelli's not going to win, that's for sure. But we have Kent to thank for that.
We'll see. I haven't rode the Benelli yet. It looks pretty cool.
So Kent's from Eastcoastish. If you guys watch Minimoto content, you for sure know his channel. And if you don't, check him out. Follow, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We're going to go head-to-head with Benelli, just for laughs, because you just dynoed this.
I did.
And this is putting out more than double digits.
15.35 horsepower, so 1 horsepower more than my 22 Grom is making. And a pretty good-looking curve, too. The power keeps trending up until about 8,000. It's weird, actually. I'm not sure why. We couldn't figure it out. It dips around 9, but you get a little bump back up right before we get to 10. Anyway, it's making a lot of power.
So 15 horsepower versus the Benelli's, I think they claim 11.
The Grom is like 8, so that is, stock for stock, sounds like a Grom killer.
Yeah, you'd think so. But again, as I said earlier, the gearing is the downfall.
Right.
It's just, it needs the gearing for it. And hopefully this is the case where putting that 14 tooth will benefit it. I think it will, but we're gonna go find out.
It feels like it's really ringing out a lot more. I'm definitely going through the gears a lot faster, but I don't think it's affecting the top speed at all. But we'll let the last stretch up here determine that. Whew, I'm sweating. Not only is it hot, but I got a monkey behind me with, what, 5 extra horsepower? I don't want to be a Debbie Downer or anything in my predictions, but this is not going to win. And bye-bye, Kent. Yep, he's gone. And that's the last I'll see him, that's for sure. Oh, I hit the rev limiter. I thought I was in 5th gear already, but I wasn't. I had a cool 56, so not looking great. 57, but we got a downhill here. The top speed is 59 so far. I think that was right when I hit the rev limiter. 58, 59, come on, 60, 60, 60, 60, 60. No dice. No 60 for you. Yep, dropping down now that we're going up. 54, 53. I might even have to shift down into 4th gear here. I think I will. Let's see what that does. Got me closer up to 10 grand. Ooh, I was just about to hit rev limiter there, I think. At 10 and a half. There we go. Here's a longer downhill. See if we pass 60. Come on, let's see a 6. And not 56. not having it. Yeah. Rub it in, Kent. Rub it in. Oh, man, that's... Well, I can't say I wasn't surprised. Knew that was going to happen. I just didn't know it was going to be that bad. I thought it would be maybe a mile an hour. Here we go. Take 2. Let's see if we at least get 60. I need to see a 6 in front of that speed. I should get in the slow lane. What am I saying? Hey, we hit 60, 61. My wrist is welded, and there he goes. 63. Hey. Got something besides 60s. Yeah, with that high 63, we're not going to beat that. I'm just going to say that right here, right now. Nothing left to do now but just keep it pinned and just... That way Ken doesn't wait as long as he needs to. Why'd I pick a killer monkey to come up against this? Next time I do a head-to-head with this Benelli, it's going to be against a Ruckus. And not a GY6 Ruckus, I'm talking stock.
63. Pretty uneventful. Oh, wow, this is cool.
That's some real speed right there. So there we go, another top speed run now that I have more acceleration. As expected, top speed took a hit. That's the trade-off with these bikes. Well, maybe not with this bike, but with a stock bike, that's the trade-off. You want acceleration or top speed? One or the other, you can't have both. That said, I think I'm going to keep the 14 tooth. I like to have the more acceleration up front rather than that top speed. I don't think I'm going to be maxing this thing out in top speed really that much anyways. It's more of a city bike. So this test basically just proved what I was expecting, that top speed was going to go down. So not very impactful, but it was a fun chance to go head to head, especially against this thing. Thanks again to Ken for coming out, going head to head with me. He at least tried to make it look like a fair fight, but let's be real. And also thanks to him for letting me try this thing out. This is awesome. And I'm sure we'll see a lot more of each other in the future. So look forward to that. Eastcoastish, please check that out if you haven't already, because you need to. His mini moto content and his builds are just insane. I mean, look at this thing. Hear this thing. See this thing. It's absolutely a monster. But anyway, I'm going to enjoy this for a few more minutes as we head back to my place, and I'll see you next time.